Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is International Yoga Day. I am Brenda La Stella, your yoga faith trainer, and I'm a somatic therapist. So this is an evening class, a wind down after a long day. And I know as much as you're looking forward to a lot doing floor exercises, we're actually going to start standing. So I'm going to come to the top of my mat. And actually, I'm going to face you. You can stand at the top of your mat, wherever you're facing me. And maybe I need to shift the angle of my camera a little bit. Yeah. So you're getting me unedited. I'm just making these videos, putting them out there, being real. It's kind of hard to edit a yoga video anyway. So standing tall. I'm going to stand to the side so you can see where I'm going. So first, find your hip bones. These are your ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. They are a bony landmark. I used to be a X-ray tech, and these were bony landmarks for X-raying the pelvis. And so find those points, and then looking at those, seeing where those points are with your knees slightly bent. When I mean slightly bent, is not locked, slightly bent. Knees slightly bent, underneath those hip bones, the knees track the center line, and your second toe tracks that center line, so that you don't have this anything weird, but your feet are planted. We're creating a good baseline, especially after maybe you've been sitting for all day. It could be, I need to come back to base, planted, rooted, and trusting the planting of your feet, trusting your presence in this moment at the end of the day, trusting that how you moved through the day was sufficient without criticism. And as you lift the toes, really press through the mound of the big toe and all the way out to the pinky as you lay your toes down, distributing equally your weight between both feet and between the heel and the ball of the foot. And then now that you can bring your hands to your belly, just using the lower abdominals to, bring some stability for the bowl of your pelvis. The pelvis is like the pot, and your legs are the roots that are planted and rooted. It's always important to come back to the rooted space. And then if you will join me in either taking elbows, holding on to elbows to open up the collarbone, scapula, open up the front of the chest, or you can clasp hands behind you. No, please don't over effort. This is an end of the day practice. We are not over efforting. In fact, yoga is never about the grit. It's about how you can move fluidly on your breath, find space with the breath. So as you stand here with your hands clasped, maybe with the next breath, open the collarbones wider. And by sending your scapula closer toward one another without forcing. You're just asking the muscles to open up, because this is actually proper posture for yourself. And making sure that the chin's not pulled forward, but that the back of the head is in line with the back line of the body. And if you wanted to take this even further, you could turn this into a back bend by taking the fingers turned up, palms at the back of the hips, right above the buttocks. Elbows squeezing toward one another without gritting, without putting too much effort. And then your feet are rooted, pelvis is grounded. You can, using the back line of your body, lift the chest up. You can begin to tilt the head back a little bit, opening up the front of the chest. Use the strength of your legs. Because I'm not moving my legs, I'm not moving my pelvis, I'm lifting my chest up. Lifting from the back side of the body. Inhaling and exhaling. On your next inhale, relax, hands at your sides, palms facing forward, close your eyes. And maybe you feel like there's this swaying. Maybe you feel yourself moving like you can feel that pendulum type movement in your center line. Can you mindfully trust that you can come to an equilibrium between right and left, where you don't feel like that a huge sway, but maybe just a tiny little bit of a movement as you feel everything come to a stillness at the center line of your body, from the bowl of the pelvis all the way through the crown of the head. Inhale, raise your arms up overhead. We're just going to do a couple of half salutations. Fold, dive forward. You can bring your hands to your ankles. You can bring them to the floor, wherever is most comfortable. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Moving on the breath, exhale and dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, bow forward. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep up. Breath, then movement. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Refold. Exhale. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale, move. Extend. Exhale and fold. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart, and pause. Closing the eyes. Trusting that you have landed in this space, having completed your day. You have done everything that you have needed to do. And we're looking towards complete rest for the night, because we trust that this day is done. This day was filled with grace. The day was maybe met with some challenges, but those challenges are done, or at least put to rest for today. Even if there are ongoing challenges or projects that you're working on, today the work you have done is enough. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Bend the knees, exhale, step to downward facing dog. We will not be doing any vinyasas this evening. Finding equal weight distribution between the right and the left hands, the right and the left feet. Pulling the lower abdominals toward the spine. Inhale, bend the knees and step through to seated. And then roll all the way onto your back and pause, feet on the floor. We're going to do a few bridge. We're going to just take an inhale and lift, and exhale, come back down. So we're not setting it for very long. We're just using the thighs and the glutes to do some breath and a flow that brings some blood flow actually more into the heart so that you can rest well. So placing your hands on the floor next to you, your hands can be face down, shoulder blades are down on your back, and your feet can be just outside the outer hip. Usually we do back bends with the knees in line. We're going to do these a little bit on the outside of your hip bones. Inhale, lift the abdominals, the glutes, lift your body into a bridge. And exhale, bring it back down. Pause. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift the hips. And exhale, bring them back down. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, bring them down. Please make sure your chin is not tucked down. We want to keep the integrity of the neck. Inhale, lift. And exhale, drop them down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, drop them down. Good job. Knees into chest, rock side to side. You can roll up to seated and then come to a butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose, depending on who your teacher, what teachers you're usually around. But bring the knees up and down. We're going to bring some lubrication into those hips. You've probably been sitting a lot today. Most people work it behind a desk. So we're going to, re-lubricate those joints. And then sitting up tall, you can take a forward fold, keep the chest open, keeping the heart open. When we keep the heart open, we're in a more receptive place, a more trusting space. Open heart means you're more open to God's love, God's peace. When we're closed off, it's kind of hard to find those things. The things that we long for are not found when we're closed off, but when we're open and trusting with our hearts. Using wisdom for discernment. Taking nice, long, deep breaths. On your next inhale, rise up. And send your left leg out. We're coming into a half straddle. In this half straddle, first bring your hands behind your hips on the flat on the floor. Again, we're opening up the shoulders, but we're also rooting down through the sit bones. And please work with the knee pointing straight up, not turned out, not turned in. The inside of the inner ankle is long. So the inner and outer thigh is rooted and grounded. I have a micro bend in my knee. And then when you're ready, you can come into a forward fold. I'm just going to come to my elbows. If you would like, if coming to your elbows is too low for you, you can, or you want support for your head, you can use a block. If you struggle with keeping your sit bones on the floor, you can take your hands out in front of you and just give a little push so that you can ground those sit bones down. Just assistance. Inhaling and exhaling. Focusing more on letting go than on trying to hold or grip into this posture. Just checking in. How can you trust where you're at right now without over thinking or over trying to over correct yourself in this posture? Trusting that where you're at right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. On your next inhale, rise up. Bring that foot back into down angle pose. And then send the right leg out. You can draw the left heel in closer if you need to. Knee is pointing straight up toward the ceiling. Second toe is perpendicular to the ceiling. Inner ankle is long, micro bend in the knee. You can start with the hands behind you. For some of you, maybe this is all that, this is it. This is a stretch, especially on the inner thigh as you melt the inner thigh down, inner and outer thigh grounding equally. It's a good feeling when you feel that. I remember the first time somebody instructed me in this way, and I was like, oh, I actually found more length and more strength. And you can take that forward fold. You can either come to the elbows, you can come to put your forehead on a block and bring the hands out. Whatever helps you keep the sit bones grounded. Double check, make sure that your foot stays flexed and that your knee stays pointed up. Actually, rooting the heel of your foot down a little bit, adding that downward pressure can help ensure that you're keeping the alignment of the leg. And why do we want to do that? Because in this posture, we're working with the meridian lines or the energy lines of the body. And being grounded is really important, even not just at the beginning of the day, but at the end of your day as well. Being grounded and rooted in this way will help you rest very well tonight. These are some of the things that I do for myself before I go to sleep at night. On your next inhale, rise up. Pause. Okay, turning to face the front of your mat, we're going to come into Dandasana, staff pose. Sit bones again are rooted, heels are grounded into the floor. I have a slight bend in my knees, and then I'm going to work my legs straighter as I bring my hands down behind by my hips, elbows reaching toward one another, keeping the chest open, sitting tall. You can raise the arms up and begin to fold forward. Now, if the idea of folding forward is too much for you, you can bend the knees, bring a strap around the balls of your feet, sitting up, using the strap, and then come here like this. Inner and outer thigh are rooted. And if you can use the strap this way. We're keeping the chest open. Or if you have a lot of space, you can take the hands to the tops of the feet, flexing the toes back, giving you an extra foot stretch. Work towards rooting the sit bone and then lengthening the spine toward the front of your mat. Pulling the belly into spine with each exhale and swelling up the back of the body with every inhale. We're not over efforting here. We're just finding the posture and landing in it, trusting it. Thanks, Finn. Go lay down, lay down. Inhale, come up. My puppy is trying to get in on the action. Go lay down. Okay, coming to your back. Bring the knees into chest. You can rock side to side. Bringing the feet to the floor. You can cross the right ankle over left knee, coming into a figure four. You can either stay here working to open up the hip. If you are more flexible, you may bring the figure four in toward the chest. Please work. It depends. Some people get instructed to lift it up the tailbone. I would like you to work to leave the tailbone down so that you actually it's a different information. Whether you pull all the way in and lift the tailbone and force the spine down into the ground, or you rock down, tailbone reaching toward the front of the mat. It's a different stretch. I prefer this. I think it's healthier for the back. And it brings actually more relaxation to the muscles around the lumbar spine to bring it into a neutrality, because your lumbar spine does not naturally curve down toward the ground. It actually curves up away. So it's convex, not concave. You can release that down and switch, crossing the left ankle over the right knee. Pause Can You can stay here working to open up, keeping the foot flexed, the ankle long. You can inhale and bring the knee in toward the chest, remembering that we're keeping the tailbone reaching toward the front of the mat. Your lower ribs are connected to your mat. Your sacrum is connected to the mat, but there's a slight curve of the lumbar spine, as if as if the tiniest of ants can crawl through there. Taking nice long inhale and exhale. Remembering that we're just trusting that everything that had happened today had to happen, had purpose. It does not need my criticism or assessment, that I just need to leave it. And then tomorrow I pick up and do whatever it is I need to do tomorrow. Inhale, unwind, feet on the floor. We're going to do one more hip stretch. Bring the right knee on top of the left knee. And then bring the knees towards you, keeping the sacrum now, whether you reach for the ankles, feet are flexed, and that your ankles are closer in toward your hip, or if you can extend them away from each other, get another hip stretch. This is like doing Gomukhasana, but on your back. And you have a little bit of a resistance between your hands and the ankles. One more inhale. Exhale, let that go. Feet flat on the floor. Pause. And then cross the left knee over the right. Pause. Lift those knees toward the chest, holding on to the outside of the ankles, keeping the sacrum on your mat. A little bit of tension between the ankle and the feet. You can even bring the lower belly more into the spine and maybe deepen the stretch a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale, let that go. Bring the right knee in toward the chest. Extend the left leg. Inhale. And exhale. Twist toward the left, bringing the right shoulder, arm, and scapula open. You can look over the right fingertips. You can close your eyes and just let the right shoulder melt down. It does not matter if your right knee comes to the floor. In fact, it's really not that important. It's just a matter of we're keeping more of the integrity of the shoulder rooted, kind of getting a stretch through the front of the chest. You might even feel it through that brachioradialis muscle. Inhale, unwind. Hug that knee into the chest one more time. And then switch. Right leg comes out long. Left knee in. Pause. Inhale, exhale, twist to the right, extending left arm out, right shoulder blade reaching toward the floor, turning your gaze toward the left. Letting the swell of the inhale expand the chest, and exhale, relax down into your twist a little bit more. On the next inhale, unwind. Bring that knee into the chest. Bring both knees in the chest, rock side to side. You can hug the nose and hug it all in. Make yourself into a nice tight ball. Inhale. And then exhale, let it all go. For Shavasana, just relax however you land. Closing the eyes. Trusting that this moment I hope you are blessed with peaceful rest, that at the end of this day, you find satisfaction in all that you have done. I hope you know that grace has gone before you and that God's love for you has been constant and consistent as He has watched your every move with adoration for you, His child. May your faith be strong, even in this time of rest. And may you in this stillness know that the Sovereign One who created you is satisfied. He's satisfied because you know of His love and you love Him too. You may stay in Shavasana as long as you like, or if this is the end of your practice and you want to come to a seated position, You can make your way there slowly. I thank you for practicing with me today on this International Yoga Day. My hope is that you have a really good night's rest and that you wake up refreshed tomorrow. Thank you for practicing with me. From my heart to yours, God bless you, and namaste.